I'm Cynthia. I'm talking about twin flame timelines and time hopping. What exactly do we consider a timeline? From what I have experienced in the work I do, the original timeline for twin flames is upon their actual creation. And their first embodiment in which they were at one with the divine source of creation to the point that serving God came first, and their commitment, their love for one another was an automatic blessing that they received for doing so. And they lovingly and willingly followed their path of service according to what they were created to do. As the cycles of embodiment continued on the earth plane, mankind fell away from God and living a godly life. And this included taking care of one another and the earth plane. So this is when twin flames began to go into separation. And according to the lessons that they had to learn through their disobedience, those lessons determined the separation that they would have in between embodiments. Perhaps one would be in the physical form while the other remained in the spirit realm. And then the one in the physical realm would pass away, and the one in the spirit realm would incarnate. And this was a period of time for growth for each individual soul's development. When divine timing arises and twin flames are embodied at the same time on a specific cycle of the earth, you can bet that that is a preordained divine timeline in which they are given the opportunity to recognize their soul's connection to one another. And some twin flames are ready. They have made a covenant in the pre-existence through mistakes of the past life, and they've realized it. And they realize this divine meeting, and they don't want to let the connection go. And they will do everything they can to sustain it. Other twin flames had many more lifetimes of not recognizing or valuing that connection for many different reasons. And when they make the choice to abandon the connection, they will actually time hop into another level of existence. And one example that I can give you is that if twin flames are rather young and one sees the value and is ready to start a family, to make a full commitment and live a godly life. The other twin will have a great fear of that because they will think that they are going to miss out on future opportunities. Perhaps someone who is more attractive, which is always the case when you are younger, or someone that fits the idea of having a particular social image. So usually money and looks are a package deal in those cases. And when that twin makes that decision to do this and doesn't consider the twin that they are abandoning, that is actually time hopping. Time hopping into another society, another community, another way of life. And twin flames often end up on the opposite ends of the spectrum when this happens. One may have opportunities come to them relatively easy because of being in the right place at the right time, having the right connections, and is guaranteed success and abundance. The other twin may be in poverty for quite some time. They may succumb to illness. They may succumb to all of the aspects that involve severe heartbreak. And when this happens, this twin has a lot of difficulty finding their way back to the God source. And they go through a lot of turmoil in the process. Now, the other twin is disconnected from the God source as well, but it is not a deep longing that they have because all of their physical needs and material needs are being met at that time. And it will not show up as a void until perhaps they are a lot older and they realize that the money and the materialism isn't the answer. It isn't the source of happiness on this earth. But that can take many decades for that twin to realize. So, in the meantime, both of you are learning the lessons that you need to learn in the time frames that you are in. This is why it is very important for you to remain in the present moment. It does not serve you to continually try to figure out what your twin flame is thinking, if they are indeed thinking about you, and all of the things that are going on in their life. That is not going to help you to come into union in this lifetime, if that is indeed going to happen. It is not going to help you live your life on its highest level, where you are drawing from your own well of creative resources. You are acknowledging and honing your talents and abilities. None of this you can do if you are constantly obsessing over what your twin is doing and when they are coming in. It is important to realize that every timeline you are experiencing is a sacred aspect of your soul's growth. And it doesn't matter how painful that timeline is, because through the pain, the heart opens. The heart cracks apart, and it is filled with the power of divine love. That love is always there, regardless of whether you acknowledge it or your twin acknowledges it. That love from the Creator that brought the two of you in existence is always there. And when you open to it through grief, you are working your way back to Source. And you are in the process of reestablishing a full connection to the Creator. And this is really what it is all about in the twin flame journey. Now, if you lose your twin through death, and this is especially if this happens at a relatively young age, there are many issues that figure into your twin's passing. I believe that twin flames actually have sacred birthrights. Many of them are star seeds. And this means that they have a heightened sensitivity to begin with on the earth plane. And this heightened sensitivity can open the door to physical illness. It can open the door to drug and alcohol addiction, sexual addiction, basically any addiction on the earth, because addictions always begin with some form of pain. And sometimes that pain is just too much for a twin soul to bear, and an illness can be brought on through an addiction. It can be brought on through something catastrophic, like a neuromuscular illness or a form of cancer or any other kind of serious physical ailment. It is at this time that the soul is called back to regroup its self to experience the administering from the angels and the hierarchy. Your twin at this time is in a great capacity to learn, to reconnect, to remember who they really are through this healing that they are experiencing. Rest assured that what you are going through right now, no matter where you are at in your twin flame journey, the most important part of it is your connection to the divine source. I wish you much love and many blessings. Namaste.